Welcome to the Chaos. I'm your host, Mr. Chaos. Tonight I have two stories for you. One I'm going to read myself, the other is going to be read by Satan's Little Helper. I hope you enjoy. My mother in law was a very funny and cool woman. She and my wife were really close, and sadly, she passed away when our son was about 4 months old. Flash forward a few years, we live in an old 1930s era craftsman house in Pasadena, California. Our son is about 3 at the time. I was giving him a bath one night, and he starts looking over my shoulder, not at random stuff, but at something. A moment passes, and he asks me why Grandma calls Mommy a funny name. I pause for a moment. I ask him what he meant, thinking he was talking about my mom. He then says, "Why does Grandma call Mommy Skeeter?" My mother-in-law's nickname for my wife. I was really set back at this. My wife and I never used that nickname. It was just what her mom had called her since she was a baby. I asked him where he had heard it. His reply, "The farmer told me." I asked him who the farmer was, and he replied, "His friend." I tell my wife the story later, and she of course reduced to tears over the whole nickname thing. We both know there's no way for him to have known this, and we just kind of marvel at it. Flash forward to the next weekend, and my son is playing in his room. My wife is at work, and I'm home. I hear him start talking like he's having a conversation. He's saying things like, "Yes? No? I don't know that." Then some laughing. I go to his room and ask him, what is he doing? And he says, "Playing." I asked, "With who?" He says, "The farmer." At this point, I'm already thinking about the fucking Exorcist movie and Captain Howdy. It's a little unsettling. I ask him where the farmer is. He says he left when I came in. The fuck? So my wife gets home. I tell her this, and now she is just weirded out as I am. We have no idea what to do, and figure if it happens again, we'll do something. A few days later, in the middle of the night, we both hear our son saying the following: "Grandma says I'm not allowed to be friends with you anymore." My wife and I go check on him. Both of us are a little freaked out. He's just sitting up in bed. I ask if he's okay. He says, "Yeah, Grandma says I can't play with the farmer anymore." He never once mentioned the farmer again, not ever. He's 13 now and doesn't remember any of it, but we do though.
I'll see you soon. Not to me, but to my Nana. And it freaks me out to this day. My Nana had a very good friend she hasn't known since her nursing days. And back when they both had their kids and had grown into women, her friend's ex-husband rang up my Nan. He was very depressed and needed someone to talk to. But my Nan had to say that unfortunately she couldn't go over to see him. As she just had a newborn, my father was breastfeeding and needed to feed. He said he understood and said, "I'll see you soon then." My granddad was on nights at work at this time, so she wasn't expecting anyone home or to visit until the next morning. At about 9 p.m. that night, she heard her front gate open. It was a very vocal gate. She liked it that way, so that when she was home alone, she knew when someone walked up to the house. She assumed that maybe Granddad had been sent home or forgot something, so thought nothing of it. That was until the family dog, Ben, began to stiffen up and growled toward the front door, and nobody opened it. He began to bark, then insist. He had never been like that. He was a dog that had been brought up around 4 youngsters, placid, patient, and kind. She tried to get up to open the front door, to see if some kids were playing around with her. But she couldn't. She was frozen in her place on the chair. She said, she felt icy cold for about 2 minutes. The fire was blaring. Nan described that after the cold began to fade, she felt very calm and serene and heard the front gate go once more. In the morning, when Granddad returned home, she explained to him what happened and at what time. He told her he had some terrible news. That her friend's ex-husband had committed suicide at about 8:50 p.m. that evening. It took about 10 minutes to walk from his house to my Nan's house.
Well, those were the stories for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe, leave a comment. Go do the same thing for Satan's Little Helper. I'll leave a link to her channel in the descriptions. And remember to always embrace the chaos.